all over the United States, during this month, and tomorrow especially, people are holding these Tea Party programs. T stands for Taxed Enough Already. Please don't take my picture, John. We're honoring the, I get his feet back here, honoring the original Tea Party fellas for the Boston Tea Party in 1773, who dumped the tea in the harbor when King George decided that he wanted to tax them again for 99,000 pounds of tea. Can you imagine? On 3 British ships. And they said, we've been taxed enough already, and they weren't going to pay. And when our founding fathers put together the ideas to start our little nation, they wanted it to be a little government to serve the people. They didn't want a monarchy because they just escaped from that. And so they wanted it just to be small and just do the basic things to protect our country and so forth. To serve the people. It would be of the people, for the people, and by the people, like Abraham Lincoln said. So after many years have gone by, here we are. Our government has grown to a 90,000-pound giant. And it's time to say, just like the colonists did, we've been taxed enough already. Now, Beverly Shad has a presentation to make.
Thank you, Luella. Is this too loud or?
No.
Okay? It's okay? I really want to thank all of you for coming. This is beyond my expectations. I'll have to confess, I think I was a person of little faith. I only made 45 copies of this handout, but one per couple or one per family, I think we'll make it around. And if you didn't get a copy, we'll see that you get one. But as Luella said, we're celebrating a tea party tonight, Taxed Enough Already, paralleling the Boston Tea Party. And there will be similar gatherings tomorrow all across the country. And we are doing ours tonight just because scheduling worked out best for us to do it today, this evening. But I was told just before we started here that there will be over 2,000 gatherings across the country and even around the world. People are gathering in other countries as well because this is a global crisis, as you know. And it's important to know that this movement sprung up from a conservative political grassroots. It's a grassroots movement, and the purpose is to show that grassroots Americans are protesting higher taxes, federal bailouts, and wasteful government spending, especially pork barrel spending. Your tax dollars and my tax dollars going for a lot of pork. And we need to stop spending this way because inevitably it's going to produce a spiral of debt and higher taxes in the long run. A quote from Randy Dutton that I found on the Evergreen Freedom Foundation, which is EFFWA.org. His quote was, I think, applicable tonight. No country ever taxed its way towards prosperity. Something to remember. No country ever taxed its way towards prosperity. And Roger Christensen here is going to pass out some of these handouts. I want to, now, please, just point out a couple of points. I just leave it to your reading, but I want to mention that on the evening news tonight, if you watch the evening news, they were saying, the national news, wasteful spending this year is out of the park. Pork barrel spending is up $2.4 billion this year, increase of $2.4 billion in pork barrel spending, and the pork barrel spending funds are given outside the regular budget. Now, I wasn't aware of that. So contact your congressmen, congresswomen, senators to protest because they promised that they would get rid of is parochial spending, but we need to protest that because it's really hurting us. And on this handout is called Tax Bites, and there's a couple of websites here that you can go to, and I encourage you to do so. I'm not going to go through all of these right now because you can read them yourself, but basically, like the total federal borrowing, number 3, will grow by $2.7 trillion this year alone, a 27% increase in 1 year. And increase in the federal spending by an incredible 34%. And the federal budget deficit, $1.8+ trillion. I mean, these numbers are unfathomable to me. I mean, I can't even imagine how much $1 trillion is. And the fact that they want to tax those who are making more money, but we have to remember that capital is needed to establish and expand businesses, which in turn can hire employees and provide jobs. So those are important things to remember as far as trying to tax businesses out of proportion. And it's said on the news again tonight that several million more jobs will be lost next year, even though the president and budget man are saying that things are improving. And look forward to a $645 billion tax increase on what they call cap and trade, which will tax energy. It's an energy tax on the production and use of carbon energy. These are things that we're up against. And then the second page, just several things to point out. We're spending trillions of borrowed dollars, leaving a debt, of course, to our grandchildren and children and grandchildren. All of you know that. And consistently giving away pork money. They're trying to punish the practice of responsible financial behavior and reward those who are not responsible financially. Want to impose a carbon tax on your electricity, gas, home heating fuels, and want to reduce your tax deductibility for charitable gifts and take away money from your family budget for the federal budget. So these are things, I'll just leave that to your reading, but this is what we're up against, and you need to be informed. Read the newspaper, listen to the news, go on the web, find any source of information you can to be informed. Thank you very much, and thank you so much for coming tonight.